Wait, okay. Here we go. Yay! I think now we're live. Awesome. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me, in the chat rather. Yeah, it says we've been live for 6 seconds. Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody to the January 2023 monthly Metaphysical Chat. If you're a regular, you know we usually do this on the first Monday of every month, which means we'll be back here in February. But tonight we're on the second Monday because, hey, it was New Year's Day on the last Monday, and we did a New Year's Day live stream. So if you haven't seen that, you should go check out the live streams because we had a blast. Lots of great questions, lots of great answers from the angels too, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm looking, there were people here just a minute ago, and now I'm not seeing them. Okay, so can you hear me? Let's just get that out of the way. It looks like you can, but I'm not sure until I get verification from you guys. Ah, there it comes, yay! The chat just popped in. It was blank before. Janny, welcome. Dale, welcome. Debbie, Bridget, Kim, Steph, Nancy, T-Barb, Janice, Dakota, Betty, Starfish. Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys for being here. I so appreciate it. Let's see. Did anybody say whether they can hear me? Yes, you hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Angel Wolf, Nancy Angel Wolf. Okay. Fabulous. Dale, I'm glad you were able to make it. I'm hoping you're feeling a little better about your meditations. Let us know if you're not so we can help you. Great. I'm getting all of the hello, hello, and you can hear me. That's fabulous. You love the background. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, it seemed like a fun one to start the year with. So start popping your questions into the chat and we'll just get going on them pretty quickly. If you are in the 21-day meditation challenge with us, and that's from the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides, that you can find on Amazon. I think I have a link for the book. Yeah, there you go. So you can find that on Amazon if you want to join us in the 21-day challenge. We're 1 weekend, but you could start anytime. It doesn't matter. You're always welcome. And there is a support group that a lot of the people here tonight are a part of. And in that support group, it's helping each other to get past the obstacles, the blocks, so that everybody can successfully talk to their angels and guides, which is phenomenal when it happens. And we're having a lot of posts about magical things happening in people's lives as they're connected. And one of the things that really stuck out with me, and you guys who are in the group will resonate with this, is that we're on the 3rd group round, and there are people in the group who've done it on their own. So it's more than 3 possibly for some of them. But there's a collection of messages each day from Metatron, and that's in the challenge workbook. Because once we did the 21-day challenge, or once I did it, Metatron gave me these messages for each day of the group challenge. And so it's the same messages for the 3rd round that it was in the first round. And people are posting, oh my gosh, this is so right on for what I needed today. And it's like head exploding, angel magic. How do they do that? I don't know. It's just angel magic. And it's well, actually, I think I do know. I think I got that hit right before we started. It's because the time is different in the 5th dimension. Their time is not linear as ours is. So Metatron constructed these messages that are perfect for every day of the challenge and seemingly perfect for the people in the challenge, which how do you even do that? I don't know, but it's angel magic. We love it. And it's so wonderful when you start your day and you're getting ready to do your meditation to read that day's meditation and see how right on it is for where you are on your path. And everybody else feels the same way. Gobsmacked, right? But it's magical. So join us if you can. We'd love to have you. I see a few more have popped in. Felicity, Kelly, Linda, Gary, I see you. Awesome, 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 awesome. So I'm just looking now. Yeah, Gary, you're in the challenge. You've not made any connections yet. Very disappointing. You need some help. Okay, well, let us know what you're struggling with. Post that in the group, what you're struggling with, so that we can help you. Dale was just posting, or she actually sent me a message that she's going through that stage where she sets aside the time, sits down to do her 15 minutes, and just all these random thoughts come up and very distracting. So she's not able to do the meditation. So if you go back to the beginning of the Path book and you read how Metatron talked about the way that you get around those things, it's all there for you. But let me just give you a shortcut. So some of you are probably familiar with mediums who do automatic writing, channeling, right? So they'll get their pad of paper and their pen, and they'll just, do this scribbling stuff. And then all of a sudden they start with the message. So what they're doing as those random thoughts are coming into their head, they're translating those thoughts onto the scribbles in the paper. And that can look like whatever it looks like for you. But in the doing of that, and here's the key, they're not resisting those thoughts. You don't want to be in resistance. You want to be in allowing. So that thought comes in, and instead of you, I got to focus on my breathing and putting all that stress on yourself, don't worry about the thought, whatever it is. Either write it down or scribble, whatever feels good to you. Get it out. Let it flow. As you do that, suddenly all these thoughts will start coming in that are actually angel messages. And you might not distinguish the difference in the very beginning. That's why you write this stuff down and just keep flowing. It's priming the pump. If you know about priming a pump, like those old water pumps, you'd have to hit the handle a few times before the water actually got up to the top and started flowing. It's just like that. You're priming the pump. Now, if you need to listen to background music or you need to do a guided visualization meditation first to get you into the right state of mind, do that. There are no rules here. The only rule is show up, be committed, and hang in there. Have faith and trust in the process. It will work for you. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. We won't give up on you. And then post in the group to let us know what you need help with, and we'll help you with those things. So Dale, I'm expecting you're going to start having your breakthrough very soon because you're going to stop resisting those thoughts. You're going to let them flow through. And know that at some point they will be angel thoughts, but in your mind, your ego is going to be telling you that it's not, that you're making it up, that you're crazy. I want you to know that's not true. That's a lie told to you by your ego to defeat you, so that you won't soar forward into this grand adventure the soul has planned for you. So don't let that happen. If the thoughts are uplifting, if they're inspiring, if they feel good, that's angel messages, because you did your opening prayer. You connected with the Akashic records. You set your intention to channel your angels, and you will. They will help you. So just go into the flow. Accept a little in the beginning. Maybe you'll just get a flash of color. Maybe you'll just get a random inspired thought. Take it, keep going, keep showing up, and that will expand. And pretty soon you're going to be one of the people posting in the group about this amazing message you got that is so perfect for where you are in your life, or this wild adventure you went on in outer space, or, somewhere else to meet people, or your deceased loved ones who show up in your meditation. Any of those things can happen, and they do. So it's magical. We would love to help you with that. Keep us posted. I see some people are responding to Gary. Okay, awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for helping out with that. Debbie, you're loving the challenge. I'm so glad. And Janny says, I felt that way the first time we did the challenge. It takes a bit sometimes. Yeah, and it can get discouraging if you're in the group and you're just lurking and you think, oh man, everybody's getting it except me. It's not true. Lots of people are feeling that way. They're feeling like, I'm never going to get this. I'm a failure. All that old soundtrack that gets in the way and defeats you. Don't listen to it. Not true. That's your ego trying to hold you back. Keep remembering that. The angels are going to guide you through this. We are going to support you. It's just keep going until you have that breakthrough. Once you do, it'll just keep going and keep going. It'll expand for you. It will be so marvelous, and you'll be so glad you did. You are worth the time. You are worth the effort. And your angels and your fellow light workers are here to support you. Hey, Melinda, glad you could make it. You pop in and out of the challenge. That's so awesome. Yeah. If you want, Melinda, you should pop in and out and share some of those inspired ideas that you've been posting about. I'm sure people in the group would love to hear them and connect with you. Starfish, can everybody send healing to Dr. Sean Mateo? He has a horrific drug reaction, and he's so swollen his skin is peeling. Wonderful, loving soul. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so just take a moment, Sean Mateo, asking the angels to step in, to send him healing, love, light, and energy, to process those toxins out of his body rapidly. and to help his skin start to heal. Help him heal, to step back into the light, to get back on his mission. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Denise, how do you know the difference between an angel and a guide? Doesn't matter, right? Your team, which is angels, guides, enlightened beings, masters, teachers, and probably more, and your deceased loved ones, all of them are there to help you. Now, they may identify themselves, they may not. You can ask them to identify themselves, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I used to talk about angels and guides a lot, and then people didn't really get the guides thing. So I just mostly talk about angels now because they're always there. The angels are always with you, as are the others. So they're all there as a team working on your behalf. And who cares? Somebody in the team is going to step up, or multiple somebodies are going to step up to help you with whatever you need. So just know that that's happening. But if you feel you want to call on angels or a specific angel or two, do that. Whatever feels good to you is perfect. They don't mind. But for them as a group, they work together. They don't have an ego, so they don't need to be named. We insist upon it sometimes, and so they will. But just go with the flow. Do what feels good to you. And if you want to give them a name, they'll be happy about that too. It doesn't matter. So just take whatever you get. Be in a state of gratitude and appreciation, and it will expand in those beautiful, remarkable ways. Thank you, everybody who's sending out those healing prayers. T-Barb, I suppose you could use things like crocheting or drawing because, yes, you have trouble with 15 minutes. Absolutely. Yeah, you can even go for a walk. You can do the meditation while you're walking. You can do it while you're in the shower. Wherever you're in a place where your mind is allowed to kind of be on idle, to be calm. You know, like when I'm driving, a lot of times I'll get downloads from the angels because my mind is just I'm focusing on the driving, but I'm not thinking about a lot of other things at the moment. So it's a space where they can come in, wherever that space is for you. So yeah, you want to take a bath, call your angels in? Sure, why not? Whatever works for you. Walking in nature, sitting in nature, any of that is good. But for those who really are struggling, don't struggle. That's the ticket for you. If you stop struggling, look for a creative way to relax and allow the messages. It'll feel better, it will be better, and you will start getting better results. So yeah, just give that a try. Post in the group, let us know how you're doing with it, where we can help you. Denise, you listen to meditation music, that's perfect. Yeah, I don't listen to anything. I just go into that state and say, I'm here, what do you want to talk about? And I've done it for so long that I can do that. I'm not distracted by the music that way. But if you're somebody who needs the music to help you focus, do that. There are no rules. It's doing it so that you're effective and it feels good. Auntie D, you're loving reading everyone's meditation. So much wisdom coming through. Absolutely. And yours too. I was just reading yours today and you've got some really good stuff in there. I am so excited for you, for how far you have come in just a few short months. It's really astonishing. So keep going. Bridget, when did you first connect with Metatron? I think it was it 2017? I think it was somewhere around 2017. Before that, I was just talking to what I thought of as my Akashic guides. And at some point it evolved. During that interim period, Jesus would show up for me sometimes because I was raised in a Christian background. So Jesus was a comfortable figure for me. Plus I had seen him and talked to him when I was a kid, which I had forgotten about until I got back into this work. So that was familiar to me. And then at some point, Jesus morphed into Metatron. And then I learned that they're actually the same being, the same energy, which was really phenomenal to know. And since then, for me, it feels most of the time most comfortable to talk to Metatron because being as he is the overseer of the Akashic records, it's just, why not go to the top, right? Sometimes I actually talk to Creator too, but more often it seems to be Metatron that comes through for me. And know that for you, it can be Metatron, I don't have dibs on them. You guys can all share them. That's great. Or any other that you feel comfortable talking to. If your beliefs are, you want Buddha, or you want Muhammad, or you want any other of the names of the religious enlightened beings through the years, whoever feels comfortable for you, so that you can get into that energy flow. And it can change over time too. So whoever you get can morph. There was a time when I used to get the 3 or 4 archangels would show up, and they would come and take me on these adventures. And, it was all about priming my pump, teaching me to get into this, to be comfortable, to accept more, to expand what happened in my meditations. Because in the beginning, blob of color, and then I got a few words similar to what some of you are posting about. And then over time, that shifted into these magnificent adventures that I would go on, and all kinds of things would happen. Being in outer space, it's really phenomenal. Going anywhere you want to go, going to the Akashic records, asking them to show you your loved ones if they're willing to come through. Or you always wanted to go to Switzerland, but it's not going to happen in this lifetime. Do it in your Akashic records. Why not? It's all there waiting for you. And know that when you go to your records, your soul is there. It is energetically there. So whatever you're experiencing is as real as what your body is experiencing here in the 3rd dimension. And I know that's a real mind blower. It took me a while to figure that out. So I want to share it with you guys so you get it sooner, and you can take that and figure out where you're going to go with it, because who knows where it will take you. We are learning new things every day. So be open to just flowing with wherever they want to take you. And of course, you can ask for specific things too, but when you're in the flow, they will bring you things you never dreamed of, which is marvelous. Debbie, you see a lot of synchronized meditations. You love it. And what is your take on this? Yeah, universal truth, Debbie. It's because what's coming through is true. It's part of the grand design. And so we are going to get similar messages. In fact, I marvel sometimes if I'm listening to another channeler and words come out of their mouth that are almost a duplicate of something I recently channeled rather. And it's like, wow. But it's also wonderful because it's validation. Because in the beginning, you wonder if you're crazy. It's just natural. You're getting some really phenomenal stuff out of this world stuff. And you start to wonder, am I making all this up? So what they do is they are sharing the same words, the same phrases across. It's like sprinkling fairy dust over the world. Some of it will take, people will share it, others won't. So by doing that, we get validation so we can have more confidence to move forward, to trust what we get. So that's what it's all about. It's really marvelous. They know that we need that extra support, because part of our journey is building that strong foundation of faith and confidence, so that when we get the messages, we can trust them and share them. And that takes time. There's no shortcut to that. It takes the time it takes. So just allow it to expand, and know that when you need that validation, it will show up in some way for you. Because we all need validation. I told you guys that if you were on the New Year's Day, when you come to me and you say, what do my angels want to share with me? And here I am, from my perspective, let me share with you what that feels like. I'm on the spot now. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your life situation is most of the time. And so I've got to just take on faith whatever I see, feel, hear, and share that with you. And if you don't give me feedback to let me know whether or not it made sense, I have no idea. So therefore, I've just got to go on faith, trust, and confidence that what I'm getting is what you need, and deliver it. And over time, it will expand. It will be more. It will be better. But it's that big hurdle you've got to get over. And everybody does. That's not something that's restricted just to you. Everybody, when they channel, has to go through that whole confidence thing where they can trust what they get. Because in my early days, I would censor what I got because I didn't have the confidence and the trust. Because what if I'm wrong? Oh my God, how awful would that be, right? But the thing is, no, if you just take it, you share it with that faith, trust, and love. Make sure there's a lot of love in there. That's an important ingredient in this recipe of ours. So you pour in that love, you share it from a place of love and good intentions, and it will be perfectly fine. But that's the reason there's similarities, because we need that validation. Kim, for those who are having difficulty connecting with the meditations, you receive guidance to use that time to send healing energy to the world instead. You can do that, Kim, and you might even do that to start your meditation and then spend some time making space for your message to come through. Because what are you doing? You're giving from the heart of somebody who's a giver, but you're not receiving when you do that. So you want to be sure you allow time for yourself to get your message. Again, it might just be a feeling in your body. It might be a word flashing through your brain. It might be a scent. Sometimes it is. Could be, sometimes I'll get something in my solar plexus, or I'll see something. It's going to be different for everybody, but whatever you get, take that, be in gratitude about it, write it down, keep going. It'll expand. But yeah, you can absolutely start there. Just don't forget to give yourself the gift of being in that space where you can receive. And know, like I said, you can go out and take a walk and it might come through to you. Say the Akashic prayer, the opening prayer, go for a walk and see what happens while you're out there in nature, just enjoying and being in appreciation for what Creator gave us. So those are some techniques you can try. And if you're still struggling, don't hesitate to ask in the group. Let us know what you're struggling with, because everybody has different techniques they use, and that gives us the opportunity to share them, which in the asking, Kim, you're giving such a gift, because those who don't want to ask, they're afraid, they're the lurkers. They want to be invisible, but they want to succeed, right? You are putting it out there so that they will get answers that will help them too. And then maybe one day they'll develop the confidence to step up and ask too. Denise, knowing when to meditate is a question for you. Oops, hang on, you jumped. It's a question for you. Should it be the same time so the angels will expect us? Doesn't matter. You do it your way. Some days it might not work at the same time. Your angels are there all the time. In fact, when you're just going about your day, you can just take a couple of deep breaths and talk to your angels for a moment and then move on with your day. You can do that anytime you want. And doing that is really good for you because it builds that fluidity, it builds the connection, the familiarity for you, connecting with them. I'll do that all the time, just a random thought and, talk to them without having to stop and do a formal meditation. Now, the formal one is still important because Metatron laid it out with that 15-minute block to focus on receiving. So that's important. He did that for a reason. It's all part of the process that will lead you in. So you can do both. But again, just keep experimenting. Find what works for you. And if you haven't done the Connecting to Guides meditation that's on my website, it's on akashaunleashed.com. If you go there and click the meditations button, there's one called Connecting to Guides. And that one is specifically designed to get you into the meditative state where you are open to channel. And when the meditation guides you to call forward your angel or your guide or whoever, you can choose whoever it is, doesn't matter. Do that. And then when the guided visualization stops, stay there. Let the meditation expand because you're already in that energy. This is helping you practice getting into that energetic state where you're open to receiving. It's so easy and gentle. It just takes you by the hand and leads you through. So you could use that one to get you started. That's a really helpful one. Felicity, hey, any themes or challenges that you should be aware of as you enter the new year, or messages for Leo? Okay, so get this untangled. So for Felicity, and if you guys are new and you don't know, I use my pendulum just as kind of a focus point. Sometimes I'll ask it yes and no questions, but more often it's just a focus. So for Felicity, any themes or things she needs to be aware of for 2023? Oh, I'm seeing you in a race car, Felicity, and you are just, you jumped in the car, got the long scarf hanging out beside you, and you got Leo with you, and you have just shifted into overdrive. You are just moving. So is that about her work that she's doing? Yeah. So that's in relation to your work. If you've been holding back in any way, shape, or form, stop holding back. Really put it into overdrive and get going. They are cheering you on. They're jumping up and down, having a celebration because they're so excited about what you're bringing to the world. So more of that. Let me know if that makes sense. And is there anything for Leo? Oh, love, kisses, hugs. His angels are standing around him in a circle, Felicity. He's probably seen this, but you can share it with him. They're standing around in a circle, just giving him all this love and light and laughing together. Lots of laughing together. That's really interesting. Oh, now they do that all fall down thing and they're all rolling around in the grass laughing. belly laughing together. So lots more fun. That's what they want to encourage him to pursue with them. Don't be so serious. Allow it to flow. Let the fun happen, and it will expand what he's able to channel himself. So let me know if that makes sense. Kim, shamanic drumming soundtracks are helpful. Awesome. Yeah. Or, what do they call those things? The bowls, the people that play the bowls and things like that. Any of those things are good. It's just whatever feels good to you and helps you relax, because you don't want to be in a battle with those thoughts that are blazing around in your mind. For some people, that's harder than others. And that's why the guided visualizations can be a really good way to prime the pump so that you are there. You can also, here's another thought, if you're somebody who is maybe a little bit hyperactive and you've always got these thoughts racing around in your brain like, buzzing bees, you can say to your angels, could you please slow it down for me for a little bit so that I can do this meditation? They'll do that too. So ask them to help you with those busy thoughts. That's another technique. Melinda, thank you. You'll tag onto what I said to encourage them. It took you months to get the vibe and then be able to visualize. So keep going. Totally cliche, but it's like a muscle. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. It's important. Lisa, when you say downloads, can this, oh, shoot, you jumped on me again. Hang on. When you say downloads, can this be a vision or however you receive info? Also, when you're increasing spirituality, does it come with aches and pains in your body? Great question, Lisa. When I say downloads, it can be any of those. It can be a picture or pictures. It can be a movie even sometimes. Sometimes it's a feeling in the body. Very often in the solar plexus, I'll get it. But sometimes other parts of the body. Sometimes it'll be words. And it's not that I hear them audibly spoken. That's a thing that people struggle with when you say that you hear the voices of your angels. You hear them inside your head. And it's almost like they're just kind of imprinted. So you hear it, but not audibly. And that's really hard to explain. But you will just get words. Like we've got, Linda, I think you're here tonight. Linda was posting in the group about how all of a sudden she's had this major breakthrough and she's seen words flashing across her meditations and making connections. And seeing actual words is a little bit harder for most people. So having that breakthrough is phenomenal, but we can all do that. It will come in time. The way you receive it will continue expanding. So if in the beginning let's say you only hear, you don't get the visions. And that's really frustrating for people when they hear all these others talking about their visuals. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. It's your journey. It's unique to you. So whatever you've got, go with that. Allow it to expand. And over time, as you keep consistently showing up and practicing, you will get more of the senses kicking in. So notice that. Be present in the moment. If you start feeling something in your body, that's not nothing. It's not random. It wouldn't happen then if it was, right? So it's more for you to pick up on. So many of you are getting sensations in your body, but you're not connecting the dots yet. So pay attention to that as you move through this challenge. See if that starts showing up for you. And if it does, then you want to add that too. And aches and pains in your body. Yeah, when you're having ascension symptoms, Lisa, yes, absolutely. I've even had heart palpitations. They come and go as there's a new growth spurt on the ascension journey. So people describe even flu-like symptoms sometimes. So all kinds of things can happen. Now, of course, being sensible when those things happen, we want to make sure that it's not a third dimensional problem. We don't want to assume everything is spiritual, because it might not be. So being responsible, making sure that it's not really a health issue that needs attention. And if it's not, then it's an ascension symptom, like Charlie horses. Oh my gosh, those can be really horrible when you're going through the ascension. Because remember, they are rewriting our DNA so that we can move into fourth dimensional beingness. That's a huge leap. And that is causing our bodies to react in all kinds of different ways as this process is ongoing. So you will find it'll come in spurts. You might get it really intensely for days, even weeks sometimes, and then it's gone for a while. And then the next time you're ready for another growth spurt, it'll happen again. So it's not unlike growing pains when you were a kid. If you experienced weird aches and pains in your body when you were an adolescent. I know I used to get horrible pains in my legs when I was a kid as I was growing. So it's a little bit like that, but know that it's purposeful. It is preparing our body for that shift into fourth dimension. And as Metatron said, we're well into it. So it's not going to be that much longer before suddenly I'm seeing it like, we arrive like we're a ship docking, and it's like, we hit the dock and we repel back a little bit as we settle into this new beingness. So that's what I've been feeling lately. Like when we actually click into the fourth dimension, we're going to feel something significant. So we'll know it's changed. And then we can always ask the angels if that's what it's about. So that's what we have to look forward to. And of course, it will look different for everybody, most likely. Debbie says, thanks. Yes. Awesome. Janny. Kim, I often find sending healing love light to the world and individuals and situations I'm aware of first helps me make the connections in meditation. Beautiful. Yeah, because you're getting the energy flowing and you're in that place of peace and calm. So however you get there is perfect. Hey, Renee, so glad you could be here. Melinda, I know I've said this before, but because we have known each other so long and I've been on so many calls, it's been incredible to watch, listen to your confidence grow and the questions. Thank you. Yeah, it has grown. And that's one of the beautiful blessings of doing these live streams together, because it's pushing me out of my comfort zone. It was hard. It was scary, but it's the only way to grow. So one step at a time, we move out of our comfort zone for all of us. That's true. Because if we stay in our comfort zone, we're not going to grow. And right now is the time. Oh my gosh. We are just being nudged and pushed and pulled a little bit, sometimes a little bit harder because we're not paying attention. And sometimes the messages kind of up the ante a little bit with energy. So yeah, all of that can happen, but just keep going, trusting in faith and love, and you will get there. Melinda, it gets more intense too. Yeah, absolutely more intense. Bridget, what is the opening Akashic prayer? Hang on. So Bridget, it's in the book, The Path, because everything is in here that you need to do the challenge. So there's an opening and closing prayer. You don't have to use mine. You can find another one and use it if you like. But, this is the one I have for the book. So when we're doing the 21-day challenge, we open the Akashic records, because when we do our meditation, we want to be sure we have that connection open to our records so that whatever we receive in meditation, we know it came from the Akashic records, from a place of truth, love, and light. No darkness, no corruption. So we can trust it. If you were just to start meditating and channeling without doing the opening, you don't know where the information's coming from. It might be good, it might not be good. So this is just a little safety to make sure that you're getting it from the right place. You're setting your intention, you're letting your guides know, hey, I'm here, let's do this thing together. And then there's a closing prayer just to bring the energy down when you're done. So I hope that makes sense. But yeah, you can use anything you like. You can even just state your intention. I'd like to access my Akashic records now, please and thank you. And you can do that too. I think people find the formal prayer a little more confidence building because it just feels kind of ceremonial or ritualistic in some way. So that's something that you build this habit and you build muscle memory with, so that as soon as you start saying it, your body automatically starts shifting into that relaxed, calm, peaceful place to get you ready to consume. It's reminding me of if you pray before you eat, because it's preparing your body to digest your food, right? So it's a similar way that the opening prayer is preparing your mind, body, and your spirit to connect to the records, to be in that open receiving state. B, I know my guardian angels are working and helping me when a profound sense of joy encompasses me, even though I'm grieving the loss of a loved one. Yes. And they don't want you to stay in that place of grieving either. They would encourage you to celebrate that time that you had with that loved one. the fact that you had the time at all, because you might not have, right? So celebrating them and allowing them to move on with their journey, knowing that you can connect with them anytime. And you can go to my akashaunleashed.com website to meditations and grab the Connecting with Guides meditation. When they get to the part about calling someone in, call in that loved one. You can touch them, can speak to them, just spend time in their energy. And that's incredibly healing. It will help you get past the grieving state way faster, because now you know they're good, they're safe, they're happy, they're moving on, and you can release them so that they can do that. Meanwhile, you can connect with them anytime you like, so you don't have to be in that state of grief. You can then step back into the joy, the love, the light, get on with your journey, because they don't want you to stop their journey just because they're gone. The way to honor them is to take care of yourself, stay on the journey, keep going. So let me know if that makes sense. Melinda, walking is the best. It's your favorite. You walk without listening to anything and you ask the guides to talk to you. It'll happen, maybe not right away, but it will. And it may come as a knowing, so trust it. Absolutely spot on. Yeah. Yeah. And you've got the advantage of walking on the beautiful beach, so that always helps. But yeah, I mean, even when I was a kid, I loved just walking in the woods, in nature. There's something about it. And if you can get your bare feet on the ground, even better yet. It's that grounding with Gaia. It's that feeling of connection, even though we didn't understand it maybe in another time, but now we are coming to that understanding. So we're being nurtured by Gaia when we're out there. And that helps us to be grounded between divine and earth so that we can feel safe, connected, and then be in a state of receiving. So yeah, just play with all those things. Kim says, thank you. It makes sense. And we'll try to share in the group. Perfect. Thank you, Kim. Bridget, could you receive a 2023 message from the angels? Well, let's just see what they have to say. So for Bridget, what do you want to share with her for 2023? What marvelous messages do you have? So you guys, just to tell you what's happening here, I start swinging the pendulum just to help me focus. And then I'm waiting in this dark, quiet space until something comes through. Sometimes that can happen almost immediately. Sometimes it takes a little longer. So it's just a waiting for Bridget. So what do you share with Bridget? I'm seeing gold bricks, Bridget. What is that about? Oh, wow. This is so cool. You are creating your own yellow brick road, but they're gold bricks. So whatever it is you're inspired to do, Bridget, lean into it, because there's the feeling, the air of success. Yeah. So what else? What about that? Yeah. And I'm seeing you do this. You're laying these bricks of gold very calmly. It's almost like you're in the rhythm. You're flowing with the rhythm of, you've just got this whole process down so that you don't even have to think. And you know what came after that is when you're doing something like that, Bridget, it kind of puts you in a meditative state. So while you're laying those bricks, maybe you're humming to yourself, be aware of what feelings come in your body, what visions maybe you get or other senses, because that's a perfect time for you to receive downloads from your angels, especially if you ask for it before you started. But they're saying you are doing this repetitive work. And in the middle of this repetitive work, you are opening yourself up for those downloads. So let me know if that makes sense. That's really cool. Felicity, thanks for the inspiring message. Lots of creativity is coming through, and you've been working through the old fear and anxiety. Yeah, that's huge, Felicity. And know that most of us have to do that. I was just talking on the New Year's Day about this cloak of invisibility that so many light workers are living under. And what it's doing is it's old fears from past life trauma most of the time. It's holding us back so that even though we might be working really hard with all intentions to put our work out there, and I learned this myself because I went through it, I'm going through it. It's a process, right? So, here I am working and putting all these videos out, and my channel is just not really growing very much because of that cloak of invisibility. So I'm now working on stepping out of that And my friend Mike, who's doing that back heart chakra cleaning that we talked about on the New Year's Day call, helped me with that so that I got some insight. But it's always comes back to that old fear, because we were tortured, killed, maimed, exiled in so many lifetimes, not just one, for being who we are. So now we're in this lifetime where we are being called to step up at a way higher level than we've ever done before, using our gifts, being who we are as light workers. And it's scary as all get out. So it's like we're kind of hiding under this cloak of invisibility. So it's like, we'll let a little bit of light out so people see us, but not too much, because we don't want to get avalanched with people. So, one of my old lines that kept running through my head is, well, I don't want to do that, because I still want to be able to go to the supermarket and be anonymous and not have people know me because of the work that I'm putting out in the world. And Metatron just shook his head and laughed at me. And he said, that would be a nice problem to have, wouldn't it? And of course, the translation is, that is something silly. That's your ego and that cloak of invisibility holding you back. Ignore it. Let it go. Don't let it stop you. Because if you step up to that higher level and you let more of that spotlight shine on you, you will be ready to handle it. Your angels will help you handle it. There's nothing you can't handle. So it's peeling away the layers, and it will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. So I'm going to be talking about this more as the months come, because it's an important topic. We need to beat the drum to let people understand this so they can step out of that shadow of the cloak into the light, to let their beautiful, divine light worker heart and soul shine forth for the world like a lighthouse, beaming, right? As it twirls around, that light, to be the beacon for those who need and are looking for what you have to offer. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. The Lab Fam, your husband is going back to work after being on disability for a few months. During that time, his company did a complete restructure of employees and pay. Will he stay with this job? Okay, so for Lab Fam, her husband in this job, is it an optimal choice for him to stay in this job? I get a no on that. Is there something else out there readily available for him that he could step into that would be more soul satisfying? Yes. And is that something available within, let's say, 6 weeks? Longer than 6 weeks? A little longer than 6 weeks. So you could ask follow-ups, Lab Fam, but essentially what I'm getting from that is he should start looking for other opportunities. Keep doing in the short term if he can and if he needs to. But if not, get out there and look for other things, and putting out with asking for the angels to help lead him, throw him breadcrumbs, throw him gold nuggets, whatever, to lead him to these other opportunities, because they're out there and there's more than one. So yeah, it's almost like, maybe it doesn't feel like it, probably doesn't, because it's scary, but this is an opportunity that's been put out there by his angels to help usher him into the next phase of his life, the next chapter, because he wasn't growing in a soul satisfying way in that other position. So this is just an opportunity to step out of that. So let us know how that goes. Betty, how do I stop scary or creepy faces showing up in my meditation? Okay, so for Betty, what guidance do you have for her about these scary, creepy faces? This is really cool, Betty. What they're showing me is that just like words only have the power we give to them. So it's our belief, right? So what if these faces are not creepy and scary? For some reason, you are misperceiving them, because remember, you're in your records. So there should be nothing creepy or scary. But your perception is probably because of old fears, just like we were talking about. And I can see you, it's like you're clamped down when that happens. It's blocking your ability to go further in your meditations because you're afraid. So what you could do, I'm seeing you as this little girl holding your hand out to these creepy, scary faces. Introduce yourself to them. Ask for their name. Ask them what their purpose is in showing up, expecting, excuse me for a sec, expecting that they're going to give you something delightful. So it's about you. And this is a really great opportunity for you in the grand scheme of your entire life, Betty. I'm sorry, you guys. So think about how you can change that perception. Play with that concept a little bit and see what happens. And let me know how it goes. I'm going to mute for just a second. Okay. Hopefully that's gone for now. Linda, you do see words. Sometimes they flow backwards and you can read and write them because of your dyslexia. That is so cool. So what that feels like to me, Linda, is just like with Betty. They're trying to show you that your dyslexia is not a disability. It's not a handicap. It is actually an opportunity for you to see things deeper and wider, more vast than you might otherwise have than other people do. So it's a way for you to expand what you're doing in the world. And I'm not getting exactly what that is yet because it's not formed. You are moving towards it. You're creating it as you go. But be open to shifting into that belief that there's something here for you to discover. And now I just got, when you do that and you share it with the world, what a blessing that will be for other people who struggle with dyslexia. You can give them a whole new way of looking at it so that it isn't a handicap, so that it actually becomes part of their superpower in some way. And like I said, I don't know what that looks like yet, but it will come to you over time. Just like for some people who are ADD, in their minds, they've written the story that it's part of their superpower. And instead of looking at it as a handicap, they look at it as a superpower, which totally shifts their energy and what they do with it so that it isn't a handicap. Because remember, we're writing our stories. So we get to decide what it looks like, how it works in our lives, what it means. So remember that you're writing the story and you can change the script anytime you want. So that's really exciting. Jenny, everyone has different ways to receive messages. None are better than others. It's just how you're tuned. And there's a link to different ways people receive clairvoyant info. Unfortunately, Jenny, it didn't let you post the link. So you can share that in the Facebook group, though. That would be really helpful. I'm sure people would appreciate that. And for you here in chat, I'm sorry. You just got to join us in the Facebook group doing the 21-day challenge, and then you'll have access to more of this stuff. Or you can come back. If you think about it, Janny, you can come back and put it in the comments, and that way it would be available if you want to do that. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Linda, it's intermittent, so it can cause frustration. You just accept it when it comes through. Yeah, that's perfect. I think they're just being playful with you, Linda, trying to get you to lighten up about your perception of dyslexia, because many, many people have overcome it and even become well-known writers. So yeah, it's not something to hold you back. It's an opportunity. So you get to change what that looks like in your life. Lisa, learning to ask the proper questions is becoming easier with meditating every day. Awesome. Sometimes you end your meditations and then you think, oh, I should have asked. You had another question that you just thought of. Yeah, so just ask it. You're still energetically connected. Even if you did the closing prayer, I mean, my gosh, you were just there. So you could say in that instance, you could just say, activate Akashic records. Or, hey, angels, you're still there. Whatever feels good to you. Just reconnect real quickly. You don't have to, at that point, go through the whole opening prayer again, unless you feel you need to. If you feel you need to, do that. Honor your feelings in that regard. But if it were me, I would just say, oh, I forgot something. And they're right there. They're never far away. I mean, they are a breath away at all times. So that's how close and diligent they are with being there for us as we need them. Steph, your mom is in assisted living and doesn't know you. Are there any messages from her? Okay, let's see. So for Steph, anything her mom wants to share with her? I'm hearing, oh, baby, I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me. I know I seem disconnected, and that's because my physical body is slowly shutting down. Don't worry about it. It's all fine. It's all part of the grand design. And she's saying she's actually excited about moving on to the next phase. And she wants you to know she'll never be far away. All you've got to do is call her. She'll be nearby. And part of this stuff, I'm seeing you holding on for dear life as her body and she is trying to leave, and you are holding her back. So if you can do some breathe, relax, allow, know that she's so close to departing, and just allow it. You can even tell her from a place of love, look, Mama, I know. And when you're ready, you go ahead, I'll be fine. And we'll always be connected. And I love you. If you can do that, it will make a huge difference. You will be able to enjoy the time she's got left, knowing that at a soul level, she knows you're there. She sees you, she hears you. And when you're with her, if you want, you could slip into that meditative state and just communicate with her that way. You could even hold her hand and do that. Try it and see what happens, because you should be able to, if you can relax enough, if you're in a situation where you can have quiet relaxation, just experiment with that and see what you get, because that could be really lovely for the two of you as you wind down. But mostly let go of the fear. Let all that go and just be as long as you can be together, and know that when she departs, it's going to still be, she's still available to you. It's just going to feel a little different because she's just on the other side of the veil. But I mean, really, you can hold her, touch her, anything you want in meditation, anytime you want. So she's never gone. She'll always be there. But mostly it's just concern for you. That's where her thoughts are right now. So show her that you're okay, so that she can relax and be at peace when that day comes that her soul has decided to depart. Because know that, we have that expiration date we all put in our pre-birth planning. And when we get to that point, the body will find some way, the soul will find some way to exit the body. B says, thank you. I'm so glad it helped. Renee, does Bridget's message apply to the collective? Oh gosh, I don't remember what Bridget's message was. Sorry. When I do the channeling, it just goes through, and a lot of the time I don't retain it. So you can remind me if you want, and then I can answer the question. So Auntie D, a message from your angels for 2023. Oh, now everybody's going to ask that question. Oh, you guys. Okay, I'll do my best. So Auntie D, 2023. What can you share with Auntie D for 2023? Forget your troubles. Come on, get happy. We're going to the promised land. That's what they have to share with you, Auntie D. And that doesn't mean promised land as in you're dying anytime soon. It's the promised land of your soul, of your experience here as a light worker, expanding into what you came here to do. It's very exciting. So that's what's ahead for you in 2023. And that kind of explains why you've had this really amazing progress in the 21-day challenge. They are right there with you. You are ready. So you are probably accelerating more than a lot of the other people just because of that. You've been priming the pump for a while, waiting for this time to happen. And here you go. So, wow. Keep us posted on how that goes. So for Renee, what message do the angels have for Renee? I'm seeing this milky white color. It's like a wall. So that's all I see is this milky white color. And that usually is kind of like a heavenly reference or divine in some fashion. So what else have you got for us? Oh, it's a canvas. It's a canvas for you, because there you are now, you're throwing flicking paint at the canvas, and I'm seeing these little speckles show up all over that white. So you are painting the canvas of your life, Renee. And they're saying, lean into that. Do it from a energy of being joyful. If you're not feeling up to it, don't work on the canvas that day. That's important. That's kind of weird. Okay. This is the canvas of your life. So you only want to come to it in that place of peace, joy, calm, connectedness, so that you will put the very best imprints on your canvas. So it's for you, it's seeking a higher level of beingness. Yeah. So let me know if that makes sense, if that helps. The lab farm. Thank you. Oh, wait, you jumped. It's become a job just to pay the bills, but it's not a soul satisfying job. He's scared to move on. Oh gosh, I know that. I went through that with my dad when I was a kid. And, for some of them, they can't get past that. They don't have support, but he's got you. You can support him through this. Help him to see that by doing this, he's holding the entire family back. So if he won't do it for himself, will he do it for the family? Sometimes that can help them step out and be comfortable. So maybe you need to hold his hand and look with him, asking your angels to guide you to the opportunities that are, the very highest and best for him and for his family. See where that takes you. Now, if you could persuade him to do a guided visualization, connect with his angels, get him to do the connecting with guides meditation. If he will do that, that could help tremendously, because then he can speak to an angel in meditation and ask them to show him where he might look for the next best opportunity. Because they are out there right now. My gosh, there are so many more opportunities out there now than there have been before, partly because we lost a lot of people in COVID, and partly because a lot of people just didn't want to go back into the workforce. So many, many opportunities that wouldn't have been there before. Excuse me. If he can look at this as an exciting adventure to do maybe what he's always wanted to do but was afraid to do. So reach out, ask for the best. Expect it will be even better, because the angels always want to bring to you what you ask for plus. It's always something better. So if we allow them to do that, it will be grander than we even envisioned. And that's all possible. So he's going to need your support, but together you can do that. Lisa, your healing abilities are, you're a massage therapist and you do Reiki. Should you further your Reiki skills, or is there another healing modality you can use for clients? Okay. So for Lisa, massage therapist, Reiki. Okay. So for Lisa, would it be wise to further pursue her Reiki healing work? Sure, as long as it feels good to you. Absolutely. Is there another modality that it would be optimal for her to explore? They're saying yes, but there's no pressure to do that. So it's like, yeah, because as a healer with the heart of a healer and the desire to heal, and now the light workers being called to do even more than they've done before, you won't be satisfied with just one modality. You're going to want to add more to it. So as you encounter another modality that appeals to you, explore it, find a way to incorporate it with what you're already doing, because it's not a matter of going along the path, picking up a diamond, using it, discarding it when the next one comes, and then using it. It's a matter of combining them into something grander than the individual parts. So is there anything that you want to specifically pop in for her? EFT would be a good way to expand upon what you're doing. What else? Anything specific? No, EFT is the one they're bringing up right now. There will be others later, but for right now, you could combine those two really beautifully. So that's something to check into. And let's see. Yeah, that was all you asked. Okay, Susan, does your team have a message? I'm sure they do. Okay, so for Susan, what is the message you'd like to share with her today? okay, I don't know if I can get this one in the right key or not. So if I'm off tune, try to ignore it. Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. So you know that song, right? So that's what, oh my God, Susan, I just got it. You guys, Susan has chronic insomnia. So Beautiful Dreamer, what a great song for her, right? Go get the lyrics to that song, Susan. I can't remember what they all are. There might be something there more for you. But it's that soothing. I'm seeing you now as an infant in a cradle. Your angels are rocking you in your cradle, soothing you to sleep. So when you lie down and you're trying to sleep, but you're not, you're just lying there tossing and turning and thoughts going through your head, sing that song, call your angels, visualize yourself in the cradle with them rocking you. See what happens. Let me know how that works out. That's really awesome. Linda, you got right your story a while ago, and now things are starting to make sense. Perfect. Absolutely. Now is the time to get it out there. It's just like if you noticed today or recently in the group, Susan was posting about this quite long message she got from Metatron. And somebody said, Susan, you need to be writing a book. Yeah. For all of us who are getting these messages, they're not just for us, because when you read them, you see how they apply to so many people. So yeah, share them wherever you feel led to share them, whether it's just in the group, or if you want to do something like blogging, you can get on Medium and join me there. That would be great. Or, wherever you feel led to do that. And then at some point when you're ready, yeah, make a book. Absolutely. All those options are available to you, but it's getting the word out to a larger audience, right? That's what all of we lightworkers are doing right now. Whatever it is that we're sharing with the world, it's do it bigger, do it further, do it faster, so that we can all shift into Earthtopia faster. So that's beautiful. And if you need help with that, just let us know. We are here to support you. Kim, a recent meditation ended up being a shamanic soul retrieval for a loved one. You're not familiar with the topic. Your guides told you to wait and see. Do they have more advice? Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. So for Kim, and of course, the first thing that pops up for me is were you involved in that? Is that why it came up, that you had a part in that story? So that might be something further to probe. So for Kim, this spontaneous soul retrieval, can you shed more light on that? Why? Why now? What's it about? What's she supposed to do with it? Yeah, take it one step at a time. Don't rush too far, too fast. Just take what you got, feel good about it, be in a state of gratitude. And then the next time you go to meditation, ask them to pick up where they left off and give you more. You can do that. You can continue a previous meditation. And if it's not the right time, they'll take you on a different journey. But keep asking. And when it is the right time, they'll pick it up again. You can do that. And you've seen a few people in the group probably do that, where a meditation on a different day continued, picked up the threads of where it was before. So yeah, they won't leave you hanging. They'll always bring more to you if you need it. But it's really cool that you're getting stuff at that level. And if you're not already doing soul retrievals, then maybe it's an indication that you want to look into that you maybe have a natural predilection to do that. You're welcome, Linda. You're welcome, Steph. Renee, you're welcome. Dakota, the word magical has been coming through frequently for you during the 21-day meditations. Insights or messages about magical. Okay. Insights or messages about magical that keep showing up. They're just doing a little jig with big smiles on their faces, Debbie, because it's like, yeah, we've been trying to convey that to you for a long time, but you weren't ready to see it. You were too in that space of tunnel vision, looking down, focused on the mundane, the everyday stuff. And now your angels are lifting you up. So it's like the big picture. They have zoomed you up so that you can see the big picture and you can see the magic. You weren't able to see that before. So it's expanding your vision, because there's so much more going on and that will be going on. So it's part of the preparation to move into fourth dimension, because it is going to be that expanded, higher level of vision. And yeah, now I'm getting, that's part of why these birds keep coming with messages, because what do the birds do? They fly high above. They see what's going on, and then they share with us their insights and, whatever helpful information they have. So yeah, it's about lifting us up for higher vision. And that does feel magical. Hey, Sister of Six, glad you could make it. Susan says, thank you. You definitely want to be a beautiful dreamer, and you'll look up the lyrics. Awesome. Yeah, nothing's random. So I haven't heard that song in years and certainly wasn't thinking about it. So yeah, it makes sense that there's something deeper for you to pull out of that. And maybe even just listening to that soundtrack as you sleep. So however you feel led to use it. But there's more for you there, which is really exciting. Lisa, thank you. Can you explain EFT? You've never heard of it. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, as Dale said, it's tapping. So EFT is an acronym for Emotional Freedom Technique. So the really interesting thing about it, it's emotional freedom technique. However, it also works on the physical level. So it's really phenomenal. And essentially, it's tapping on energy meridians in your body that align with the meridians that they would do Oriental medicine with, like on when they do acupuncture, acupressure, they're using similar spots. So essentially, you tap on the inside corner of your eyebrow. You just use a couple fingers and you tap like 5 to 7 times, and you're speaking while you're tapping about what it is you're asking. So like if I was afraid of snakes, I have this awful fear of snakes. And then I move to the side of my eye. I have this awful fear of snakes. And then under the eye, darn this awful fear of snakes. I want it to go away. This fear of snakes under the nose, then in the chin, this rotten fear of snakes. So you just, whatever comes to your mind about the topic, you're just releasing it. You're letting it flow, getting into that energy so that it can be released. Then you go down to your spot just below your collarbone here, and you can do that one with your fist. So you're going to get the right spot because it's approximate. I'm releasing this fear of snakes. And then I go to the top of my head, releasing this fear of snakes. So you're running through these words and whatever you feel led to say. Now, I would recommend go on to YouTube, pull up some EFT videos, because there are thousands of them, for something that you would like to tap to get rid of. And just follow along with it. You get borrowed benefits when you do that. You will actually get something. Now, between rounds, you want to stop and do a couple of deep cleansing breaths, because you're releasing that stuck energy. And I actually did cure myself of a fear of spiders with that. So now I can catch the spiders and take them outside, where before I would, run away from them and make my husband deal with them. So it really can't help with that. But it also helps with physical. And I use it whenever I get a physical injury, like if you smash your fingers in the car door and you know how the blood rushes there and it bruises and, it develops into, an even more expanded injury because of all that blood pooling. So as soon as I have some kind of an injury like that, and thankfully it's not too often, I tap on healing blood and energy flowing freely through my body. And that's very specific because I don't want the blood to pool. I want it to keep going and causing healing. And by doing that, I have mitigated the damage from many things. So it's a great tool to have in your back pocket. You got it with you all the time. You don't even have to tap, but tapping does help with the focus. It also helps with the energy flowing through your body, which is what you want to happen. So if you're interested in it, I would just get out there, research it. Go to emofree.com, which is the website of the creator of the technique. You're going to find a lot of ripoffs out there who are touting, they just call it tapping or something else that is not the original material. And I'm biased because I started with the originator, Gary Craig, and I just think his work can't be beat. So he has a lot of students out there who are teaching it. There's a guy on YouTube, I think it's Brad Church, maybe Brad something, and several others that are really good, but find the ones that resonate with you. You can learn it. Gary used to sell a course, which I got. I don't know if he still sells it, but if you want to dive into it and really get good at it, you can. Super, super powerful technique. I have seen him use this on people who had very deep sexual trauma, physical trauma, a frozen shoulder. And by the time he's done tapping on these people, their shoulder's moving. They don't have the sting anymore when he brings up the story. It's really phenomenal. So you can go on his website and there are some of those videos there. There's this one white-haired lady who had severe sexual trauma, so tightened up, so fearful. And you can watch her energy shift as he takes her through it. It really is quite magical. And it's a great skill for anybody to have and use. So you can use it for anything. Anything you can dream up, you can use it for. Janny says, Dakota, it's your unicorn that you've embraced. Yeah. Yeah. For so long, she's been moving in that direction. So it's really exciting to see stepping into it, claiming it, and living with it. It's really marvelous. Auntie D, can the angels tell me if IV nutritional therapy would be beneficial? Okay, let's do that one. And by the way, I'm at the end of the questions, you guys. So if you got more, I mean, we can quit early if you don't have more questions, but as long as you're here, if you got more questions, pop them in there. Because I can go till 9 if you can. So nutritional therapy, IV nutritional therapy for Auntie D. Would that be a wise and optimal choice for her right now? IV nutritional therapy. I'm getting swirling, Auntie D, which means, maybe, maybe not. It's kind of an undecided thing. So it's confusion. Now, is that because she's conflicted about it? Is that, yeah, okay. So you're feeling conflict about it. So they're not going to tell you what to do. You've got to kind of feel into it and decide whether it feels right for you. So if she felt good about it, would it be an optimal choice? Very well could be. But it feels like you need to do a little more research into it. There's something unsettled about it. Dr. Alicia Robinson, would that be a good doctor for you to work with to improve your health? Dr. Alicia Robinson for Auntie D, would that be a wise choice? Yes. Yeah, I'm feeling uplifted as I ask about that. So yeah, that's good. And I have to throw a disclaimer in here, you guys. I'm not a doctor. I can only share with you what the angels are saying, and you take it and you do with it what feels good to you. Okay, so I don't see any more questions, you guys. Did you all leave me? No, it looks like we still have 27 people here. I'm not sure how to read that. It's very confusing. Okay, here comes some more questions. So for Steph, you want to know about your gifts. That I don't do here, Steph. You've got to get a soul introduction reading, and then I will go into your records, I will do the research, and I will pull out the information about your gift. But that's a different process from this channeling that I'm doing. So you're growing, but you're less sure about what your focus might be. So for Steph, what can you help her with on her focus? Lean into the love. That is always the best answer. When you lean into love and sharing that with the world in whatever way you feel led, you will get those downloads. You'll get those hits, those inspired ideas. When you get those inspired ideas, follow up on them, see where they go, because that's the way you figure out truly what your gift is. The gift is the thing that lights you up, that feeds your soul, that you would do forever without complaint because you love it so much. Some people have found it on their own without a reading. Maybe they don't know what that's what it is, but yeah, and they're so satisfied. For other people, it's like, just get a reading. There it is. You've got it. And then you've got all the information to understand it and move forward with it. So I know that's not a possibility for you at this time. You mentioned that last time, but put it out there for your angels and they will bring it to you. They'll make it happen. Desert Dawn. Given that our bodies create ourselves originally, can we heal to original perfection? Okay. So for Desert Dawn, is it possible for her body to heal itself to original perfection? Yes. Yes. And I'm just getting further with that. You know, your body is perfect as designed by Creator. It was intended to be a self-healing. What's the word I'm looking for? Vehicle, I guess, to carry your soul. And it needs to stay healthy, robust, and mobile to carry your soul around for your entire soul journey in this lifetime. So yeah, it has all of that there. The trouble is we have gotten off track. There's a lot of confusion. So that's where you keep going back for guidance from your angels. You ask them to show you what you can do to make it better. But yeah, it's possible. So the first trick is believing it's possible. Once you do, then follow the breadcrumbs to getting it there. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be snap your fingers and it's perfect. It can take a while, but it's possible. And a lot of it is getting rid of old belief systems that it's not possible, getting rid of those limiting beliefs that keep you in that little tiny box that you're afraid you can't do it, or you think you can't do something. Can't is just not a word that's part of the vernacular of this expanding soul that you are. There is no can't. It's only how. How do I do it? Not that I can't do it. Anything you are inspired to do, you can do, or you wouldn't have been inspired to do it. So it's looking for that. It's like, when I was diagnosed in the 80s with Meniere's disease, and it was debilitating to the point that I was flat on my back, disabled, because I would have these horrible vertigo spells where all I could do was lay on the floor and throw up. And at that time, I didn't know about alternative remedies. We didn't have the internet. So my only option was to stay disabled and live this horrible life, which was not an option. I was going to kill myself if I had to keep living that way, because it wasn't a life. Or I could get a surgery where they could do brain surgery. They could cut the nerve in my brain that controlled the vertigo spells. So it wasn't a cure. It wasn't a fix. It was a workaround. And it was a shitty workaround, if I'm honest about it, because it left me with balance only on one side of my body. So I had to learn to walk again. And I'm still wobbly. I lose my balance easily because I, only have one good side. Knowing what I know now, I never would have made that choice. I would have used the remedies to solve the vertigo, which eventually would have cured the Meniere's. So, I still have once in a while a spell, but with the remedies, as soon as it starts, I take the remedies and it stops it. So I'm confident over time, I probably could have cured the whole thing, because then I learned that it was emotionally, most of our illness starts with emotions, right? It was stuff I was beating myself up about, and a lot of negative, unjustified karma that I took on myself, which caused the illness. So when we bring in all those negative emotions, we accept them, our body responds by creating illness. So that's also part of your answer, isn't it? Which I wasn't thinking about. But yeah, finding the root cause. What was that emotional trauma? Whether it's past life, present life, or a combination of the two, find it, root it out so that your body can then heal from it, because your body wants to heal and serve you at the highest level. So I hope I made sense with that little rant. Lisa, you're excited to learn EFT. Acupuncture's been on your mind. Yeah. So if you really get into EFT, you don't need acupuncture, because you're doing the same thing without needles, which is really cool, right? And the funny thing about it, I've done groups where groups came together and we tapped about various things as a group. And oh my gosh, does your face get sore if you do a lot of that tapping? So modify it a little bit, modulate it so you're not really beating on your face. Because if you follow Gary Craig's original tapping, he was really pounding on his face. And oh man, you get so tender after a while, you don't want to do any more tapping. So what you can do, you can touch. You don't have to tap. It's the energy and the intention that counts, right? So you can just touch the spots. And that's like acupuncture, except you're not really pushing hard. And you can even just speak it and see in your mind's eye tapping. So those are all I can't talk. All alternatives for you that you can play with to see what works for you. And you can tap for yourself. You can tap for other people as a surrogate. So, a child, for instance, you can tap on your body, speaking the words for another person. You can do it on animals too. I've done it with the horses. Sometimes I'll tap right on them, but most of the time I'll put one hand on them and I'll tap on myself, and they're getting the benefit from it. So yeah, all kinds of ways you can expand upon tapping, and it's fun. So yeah, I encourage you to go for that. Yay, Kelly, you're still here. Awesome. Richard, what do your guides have to say about the snake crawling across your solar plexus in your meditation? Wow. Okay. So for Richard, what's the snake going across his solar plexus? It's about your Kundalini rising. Wow. I'm seeing it like a cobra, and I'm hearing the song, that little song they play on the flute for the cobra as it rises. So yeah, it's about your spiritual expansion, Richard. So keep going with that. It was like cluing you in case you hadn't already noticed. They want you to know, they want you to understand that's going on. So expect to feel more changes in your body, because that's also part of your ascension process. Really exciting, Richard. Linda, you had an experience after meditation. Was it Michael or was it another angel? Okay. So for Linda this morning, was it Michael who was there? No, it was another. I'm hearing Zadkiel. I don't know what Zadkiel's thing is, but look up the information on Zadkiel and see, what the specialty is there. There might be a bigger message. I don't know. I'm not quite familiar with that one other than I've heard the name. Lisa, last question. Where geographically is it best for you to live when you purchase a home? Okay, so we should probably ask it, where is the optimal place for you to purchase that home that you will live in, right? It's always better if we simplify the question for the asking. So for Lisa, would California be an optimal place for her to purchase her home? Yes. What about Oregon? Not so much. The Oregon coast? Could be. Okay, so the number one choice, would it be the Oregon coast? Would it be California? So California's first, Oregon coast is second, but it's a good second. So it feels good. That's exciting. I don't know where you are now. Is that a big change from where you are now? Desert Dawn says, thank you. You are welcome. Felicity, is there any advice for how to deal with family and friends? You feel like nobody in your family or inner circle understands you, or the big soul story that you feel pulled to step into. Oh gosh, Felicity, I feel for you. The thing is, we can't force them to open up and go on this journey with us. So accept them where they are, love them where they are, find support elsewhere until they're ready to shift. Because what will happen, here you are, you're on that journey, your energy is shifting. They are feeling it. They either will pull away because it's uncomfortable, or they will shift themselves ever so slightly so that they can stay closer to you. That's their choice. You can influence them. So you keep doing what you feel led to do. Let them witness the unfolding. I'm seeing you just blossoming. Oh, you're a beautiful peony and so fragrant. Ooh, that's very potent. So they're witnessing that about you, and they might get excited or curious, wanting to know more. And that would be an opportunity to share without being pushy, right? So that's there for you. That exists. Meanwhile, don't let that get in the way of your ascension. So it's reach out to your community, even if it's just online. Online works too, right? Connect with your community, allow them to support you, because so many of the light workers are in that situation, because many of us incarnated into families that were so different from us. And we did that because it would be a challenge that we would have to overcome so that we could do this work. So we're just kind of repeating that pattern, aren't we? And more people are waking up. They're getting on board. So that means more opportunity for you to have a greater family, the family that you choose to connect with. So don't let that stop you. I know it can be painful, but just realize they are on their soul path, which is different from yours, but it's still perfect. One day they might awaken and join you, or they might not. And either is perfect. Doesn't change the fact that you still love one another. So I hope that helps. Lisa, thank you for assisting us on this journey. Blessings. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Dawn, you're sorry to hear about the balance, sending hugs. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm thinking one day, maybe if I get to a high enough level, my angels will reconnect that nerve in my brain, because I believe that's possible. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know. But I believe that can happen. So I'm just going to keep going forward, anticipating and being in gratitude for the healing I've gotten, knowing that more can come. And for those of you out there who are dealing with autoimmune issues, because so many people are, it's like an epidemic. And getting on my soapbox, I have to say, what the hell is wrong with medicine? When we have all these people who are getting sicker and sicker, and the doctors are saying, well, this is as far as I can take you. You got to live with it now. That is unacceptable. No, our bodies can heal. So let's all support one another in finding those ways of healing. And yes, it might for you start with rooting out that old trauma from past lives or present life or both, right? Get that trauma out of the way, because it's like you pull it up by the roots when you do that. So then you can heal. Whatever it is, it can be healed. It's just a matter of finding how. So if we all make that decision for ourselves that we are not going to accept anything less than glowing optimal health and keep reaching for it, we will get there. And don't get discouraged when you have a mishap or you move backwards, because life is not a steady forward journey. It's always back and forth, right? As we're adjusting to higher and higher levels. So, and I just got this. When we reach fourth dimensional beingness, maybe that snap that we're feeling, where we're adjusting, maybe part of that is like a retrofit of our body, because we've already been getting all these adjustments, so that all that illness does go away. Because I can't imagine Earthtopia with illness, can you? So it's coming for all of us. It's just a matter of having the faith, confidence, and trust. Keep going. We've got it. Acupressure works too, Susan. Yeah, it can. Absolutely. All of these things, there are so many modalities out there that maybe we haven't even heard about yet. But if they are something that are good for us, then the angels will bring them across our path. It's just a matter of being present in the moment to notice, do something about it when you learn about it. Dakota, it's good to know about touching or seeing the spot for EFT. You've been doing that. Thanks for confirming. You are so welcome. Yeah, and I even did a video a few years back now where I combined Ho'oponopono with EFT, which felt really wonderful for me. I haven't really felt a need to do it, but it was really cool when I discovered it. It felt really good, so I made a video about it to share it. I can't remember it, or I'd show it to you now, but it was basically, I was speaking the Ho'oponopono words while touching the acupuncture spots. So if you search on my YouTube channel for Ho'oponopono, and it's H-O'-O-P-O-N-O, piano. Anyway, if you just do the first part, you'll be good. H-O'-O-P-O-N-O. That'll get you there. And then you can see what I'm talking about. And try that too, because for me, I found combining the two really added extra oomph to it. So why not, right? We want the most we can get. Jenny had to go. So glad you could be here. You have a good evening too. You're welcome, Richard. Lisa, you live in Northern California, so it's a money thing. It's hard to afford to live here comfortably. So you're looking to move to another spot in the state. I don't know if you have a spot, but let's just ask the question. So from where Lisa lives now, is an optimal choice to purchase a house north of her? South of her? What about east or west? I get south, which is kind of hard to believe because I think the prices are even higher in the south, right? But maybe there's a spot somewhere south of you that's got the right combination that you're looking for. So just ask your angels to bring it into your awareness, and they will. Dakota, your unicorn head came today to attach to your teaching cart. You'll share a picture in the group. You're bringing magic with you everywhere. It's been a learning experience. I love that. It's so inspired to think of you trotting up and down the halls with your little cart and your unicorn head. And the kids are going to love that. It's going to be so much fun for them. So yeah, you are bringing magic. And oh my gosh, do they need that? Kim, you've been obsessed with buying oracle and tarot cards. Do your guides have any advice on that? Okay, so for Kim, what can you share with her about buying all these decks of cards? They're saying, yeah, you could lay off that a little bit. You've got plenty. It's more about applying yourself, finding the ones that inspire you and playing with them. And they're saying playing very deliberately, because if you go into it with that energy of really buckling down, I got to learn this work kind of thing, it's going to be harder than if you do it playfully. So step into the child version of you and be very playful about it. See what you see. I mean, yeah, you can learn the definitions, but you want to look at those pictures and allow your intuition to get hits off of the card. And it will be different time to time. I played with them a little bit, but I'm far from proficient. But I have noticed that the same picture, I'll get different hits off of it at different times, depending on, what else is going on. So yeah, but just have a really good time with it. See where it goes. So it's a fun thing that you can explore, but just don't make it work. Linda, Zadkiel is the righteousness of God helping with true forgiveness. Oh, that's really cool. So does that resonate for you, Linda? Did you feel you needed forgiveness? Is that missing for you? Kim, you feel like you're being led to a lot of healing modalities. You love them all. You don't know how to choose. Oh, that's easy, Kim. Whatever feels best to you. Always, always, for everything you have questions about. Run it through your solar plexus. Stop. Think about what it is. Feel it in your solar plexus. Don't think it in your brain. That's your ego. Bring it to your solar plexus and feel it. Really feel it. Let it sit there for a moment. How does it feel? Pick the one that feels the best. Always choose the very best. It's like that old adage that if you got a crate of potatoes, you always choose the largest one. When you go to your crate, you'll always have the largest one to choose. Whereas in the old days, people had this attitude of, let's choose the smaller ones first, and then we'll have the bigger ones for later. But you see how that's different in the way you reflect upon it? Because if you always are choosing the very best, then you are opening up the opportunity to always choose the very best, even though that best is smaller than what you got before. It's a different shift in the way you relate to things, the way that you treat yourself and make your choices. So it's really a potent lesson. And yeah, just focus on the one that feels the very best. Play with that for a while, see what you feel led to do with it. And then you can slowly add others in. They won't all resonate, even if they did feel good in the beginning, because sometimes we get it wrong. So as soon as it stops feeling satisfying, fun, like you're really getting somewhere, put it aside. You can come back to it if you want, but it might not be the right thing after you've delved into it. And it could be that you already got from it what you were intended to get, because as you create this new modality, which is what you'll be doing, you're taking all these little baskets. You're taking from each basket the best parts of it, combining it into what your modality will be. That's like when I combined the EFT and Ho'oponopono. That was an inspired idea. I'd never thought about that, but it was just, Ho'oponopono by itself just doesn't resonate for me. EFT's good, but I feel like it needs something else. So when I put the two together, it was like, boom, that was really awesome. And, people who have tried it have also felt it was really helpful for them. So yeah, just be inspired to combine it in the way that feels the very best for you. And just be open to your angels nudging you and giving you these new little inspired ideas. When they come, play with them and see which ones feel the best. But always go back to what feels best for me. That's important. And that bleeds over into your entire life, because it's all about learning to choose the very best, to treat yourself the very best, to love yourself more than anything or anyone else. You need that for yourself, because from that place of empowered love that's seated deep within you, that love will bloom from you. That beautiful scent will go into the world. The love will go into the world. The light will go into the world, and you will be more than you ever thought you could be. But it starts with that love for yourself and the best for yourself. Susan, maybe 4D arriving will heal you too. I believe it will, Susan. You can't be sick in 4D. That's a huge up level. So everything is reset to a new higher level, a new, more exciting higher level. So yeah. So that's even more incentive for us to get the 4D and Earthtopia sooner, right? Because let's all be healthy together and just live at the optimal, highest level that we can. Susan wants to know, do I know when 4D will happen? I don't know an exact date, but Metatron is saying we're getting closer. We have passed like the midpoint and we are accelerating. So, and again, it always varies depending on what we're doing here. We can speed it up, we can slow it down based upon our actions. So get out there, bring more light workers into the fold as fast as you can, because the more people who awaken and join us, the faster we get there. That's really all that's holding us back right now. It's just that critical mass. And we're getting closer. You know, I feel us cranking up that hill on that roller coaster. We're almost at the top. So pretty soon we'll be cresting that pinnacle, and then we'll be flying down. Richard, remember to stay in the present, healing now, not in the future. Loving light to all. Thank you, Richard. That's beautiful. Yeah, being grateful for what you have now, noticing it. That state of love and gratitude shifts so much in your body and in your energy. So it helps you and it helps others. Steph, you have a new job. Is this where you're going to be happiest and successful? Awesome. Congratulations. So for Steph, this new job, is this the optimal place where she will be happy and successful? Oh, it feels really good. And I'm seeing little white poodles with pink bows around their necks, standing on their hind legs, jumping up and down, and just celebrating with you. So that's really cool. I don't know if you're a poodle fan or not, but that's what I got. Susan says, yes, please, Earthtopia. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but meanwhile, we have to live with what we got. We don't want to spend our time in the future. We want to spend our time here so that we can create that future faster. Yes, we are. Anywhere and everywhere. Just keep sharing, and we will get there. Okay, so we're at the end of the questions again, you guys. You got more for me? Steph, you're a pup person. Okay, awesome. Okay, well, let me just look something up while I'm waiting for you guys to pop some questions in there. I was looking at this earlier, and I thought I might read it to you if we had time, and it seems like we do. This is from the prologue of The Path, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. So listen to this wisdom from Metatron. This is just so cool. This is your planet, your lives, and if you aren't willing to stand up and defend the way of the light, darkness will prevail, at least temporarily. There will be other lives and other chances, but why postpone the inevitable? Sooner or later, you must cross the bridge and undergo the rite of passage. You must commit yourself to the cause of love and light, and then you will prevail. You've already been guaranteed success if you put in the effort. The deck is stacked in your favor. Which side are you on? Once you make up your mind and you take up your place in the battle, victory will come quickly. What's required is a large enough body of energy to create an impenetrable shield. Darkness will quickly retreat to another time and place where it will once more take up arms against the light. But that is none of your concern. There are bigger battles yet to be fought. Right now, your focus is upon saving yourselves and the planet so that you have the opportunity to bask in the new golden age. The past is gone. The future is not yet determined. Put your focus upon the here and now, which is where your power presently lies. Yes, there is much sorrow at loss of life, and for some, home and hearth, but this is fleeting. Reach out to one another. Form a united front against the darkness, and you will transform yourselves and the world. Imagine a world devoid of bigotry and hate, a world where neighbors help neighbors, where everyone loves and respects the planet. Wow. Energy and manifestations flow like breath before the advent of COVID. Disease dissipates because it cannot exist in a state of balanced energy aligned with soul. We can hear you scoffing that this is too good to be true. It might be if you choose to make that your reality. Your earth reality can split with one experiencing the golden age of peace and love and one facing death and destruction. Which side are you on? So, yeah, and you know, it's interesting. So many of those words, and this is from, what was it, December of 2020, I think is when I channeled that. Some of those words are still repeating. I remember recently a message where the deck was stacked in our favor was repeated again. So you will find some of these phrases repeated in your own meditations and other people's meditations, because they're universal truth, and they're just going to keep saying it until we get it. Lisa, what is a good way to bring in more light workers? How do you approach people or family members with that conversation? You can share with them the exciting journey that you're on, and they can experience your energy, your love. And if they're somebody who's kind of ready, then you just share little bits and pieces. Don't overwhelm them, a little bit at a time. You can, share the book with them. It's all in the book. And get them in the meditation group if they will, because that will accelerate their process. But mostly it's just kind of listening to them. Where are they on their journey? Are they wanting more? What are the obstacles they're facing? And how might they use this new understanding of themselves, the planet, the energy, the love, to shift into a better way of being? Just allow your angels to help you with that, about what you share. You don't want to be that person who goes up to somebody and says, well, my angels told me to tell you this, because that puts people off like nothing. But you can have a gentle conversation as you listen to them. You can just toss out little tidbits, things that you have learned, like little quotes from the book or from the meditations in the support group. Oh my gosh, there's so much value and wisdom there. Just those little nuggets can change somebody's life. And you know how the angels work. You'll be inspired to pick out one that you will share. Let's say you share it on your Facebook page. People will read that, and the ones who are ready will respond to it. So that's a great way. Do it on social media. So I hope that helps. Whatever you feel led to do is good. Susan, the new meditations in the book have the Akashic prayer opened already. Did you understand that correctly? Yeah, that's what Metatron said. Before we put that book together, it was like, okay, we are going to infuse the energy into every one of these meditations that accesses the records for them, so they don't have to worry about that part and just do the meditation. And if you don't know what Susan's talking about, is the newest book from Metatron. It's a little book of meditations, and it's a tool we were given to take us past the 21-day challenge. So there are meditations for entertainment, for healing, for upliftment, for being inspired, for adventure. There's adventure in there where you go to outer space, all kinds of stuff. And you read the meditation in the book, and then you go to the link that's in the book, you listen to the audio of the meditation. That way you already know what to expect, so that when you listen, you can just relax and have the experience without sitting there wondering what's coming next, which distracts the heck out of you, so that you don't get the full benefit of the meditation. So that was the intention with this book. And yeah, it's out there as well. So if you just look for my name on Amazon, you'll find all my books are there. Dale, you'd like to know if you're supposed to stay in PA or move to another state like Maine. You still have to work and you'd like to have more clients. So first of all, no supposed to, Dale. It's what feeds your soul, what feels good to you. You are a sovereign soul, so you make the choice. But you can ask your angels to throw those little breadcrumbs out and help guide you to opportunities. So let's ask them for Dale. Is it an optimal choice for her to stay in PA and build her business? No. Excuse me. What about Maine? Would Maine be an optimal place for her to live and have a business? I get a big yes on that, Dale, which is surprising. I would have thought, since you've already started here, that it would extend and you'd stay, but no, for whatever reason. So I don't know, maybe there's something you're already connected to in Maine that you'd just be able to pick up on. So yeah, keep us posted on how that goes so we can support you through that. But if you decide to move there, yeah, it's a good choice for you. Auntie D, you've got an Akasma session in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure what that, you mean Akasha session? The Liberty Bell and Let Freedom Ring came through. Oh, in an Akashic session, that came through. Can the angels explain your connection to the words and period in history? So for Auntie D, the Liberty Bell, Let Freedom Ring. For Auntie D, why is that resonating with her? What's that about? Yeah, I immediately getting like the picture, and I'm seeing the word 1776 kind of reverberating in my head. So yeah, you were in that colonial period somewhere around that time frame. And so yeah. So was she involved in the founding of the country in some way? No. So she was just living in that time in Pennsylvania. So was she living in the Philadelphia area? Yes. And I see you dressed as a woman, so you were, yeah, and matronly looking. So you were, probably married and in that time and didn't have a lot of power other than to support your husband and work behind the scenes in the way that the women were allowed to work. But yeah, you have a past life connection to it. Absolutely. Debbie, you wanted to thank me for showing us this open portal of communication. You're so welcome. This is what I've been asked to do by Metatron. So I'm just fulfilling my soul purpose, and it blesses other people when I fulfill my purpose. And that's what I want all of you guys to get. When you lean in and you live your purpose, whatever that is, it will bless other people. It can't help but do that. That's just the way it works, because that love and that energy will flow from you to other people. And it keeps going in this geometric progression, getting better and better. So that's all we have to do, is come and do what feeds our soul. And it feeds the rest of the world as well, which is really, really remarkably wonderful. Desert Dawn, laughing out loud, don't overwhelm them because you're overwhelmed. Yeah. Yeah, one baby step at a time is all anybody's asking you to do. Your angels are not going to drag you kicking and screaming into this. That doesn't work anyway. You've got to have time for your energy and understanding to shift into this new space, to build that excitement. So you're looking for the next step and you're anxious to go there. And then they will speed it up when you're ready, but they're not going to kick you out of, where you're ready to be. They will bring you along so beautifully. And with the 21-day challenge, that's what Metatron designed. It's like you begin, you read the book, Metatron's holding your hand, explaining it to you, and he gently walks you through the 21 days, one step at a time. So nobody gets left behind. Only, if you're not putting the effort forward, would you get left behind. And that's one of the reasons I highly encourage you to join the support group, because you can read the book, you can be walking with Metatron and still struggle. And it will be harder for you than it might have been had you joined the group to see, heck, everybody else is having similar struggles. So I guess it's not so bad. It's part of the process. Because remember, you are toning a muscle, and that's hard work. It takes a lot, because the muscle's got to stretch, and then it's got to heal, and it's got to stretch some more. And it's a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight. That's why it's 21 days. Even though you will look, we just finished the first week. You can look and read messages from people who had never channeled before. And in days they were channeling. They might not have gotten big messages, but they were getting something. That's because it's brilliantly designed. For the ones that are still struggling, they haven't gotten there yet, it's okay. You just maybe had other blockages that they didn't. You were at a different place in your journey, but you will get there. It's designed to take you there effortlessly. It's just keep taking one step at a time. Nobody will be left behind who doesn't want to be. So join us. Let's join arms. Let's create Earthtopia together. It will be glorious. Oh, so Steph, you're saying you're ready to get a pup. That's so cool. Yeah. Richard, did you get a chance to read the book from Jareth Tempest on Angel Path Workings? No, sorry, I haven't. I've been really overwhelmed with all the stuff that Metatron's got me doing. So hopefully keep reminding me. I will try to get to it. And thank you. I appreciate the follow-up. Debbie, your right hip flexor has been catching. Any thoughts on that? Also, does your dad finally understand your gift to communicate and channel? Because he crossed. Oh, he always understood it. Once you get to the other side, you've got access to all the information. So yeah, you understand. So he's been hanging out waiting for you, because he could see ahead, right? They have access to that information too. He could see what you had planned, and he's just been cheering you on ever since. So that's beautiful. Your hip flexor. Did I send you a link for Traumeel, Traumeel? If I didn't, send me an email and I will. Tramiel is this fabulous, fabulous, fabulous remedy that combines several of the homeopathic remedies together to really be powerful. I usually make it myself because I've got the individual remedies, but it's so much easier just to take the Tramiel, which is all combined. It used to be readily available, and then it went away for a while because, stuff in this country blocking these wonderful remedies. And now it's available again. I found a source for it. So I've got a link to that source saved, and I can share that with you. But get the Tramiel. It will help with the ligaments, the tendons, the bones, the muscles. It helps with all that. It helps with the squeaky joints. It helps with the inflammation. It is just a remarkable remedy. I've used it on people and animals. There was a horse in the Brooklyn stable who, Debbie, you'll relate to this. Her hooves were so bad. They had dropped, the coffin bone had dropped, and they were very flattened. So you could see bruising all over the bottom of her hoof. And I was helping the owner trim her because I was doing hoof care back then. I was afraid to take any of that sole off because it looked like it was going to burst into blood any moment. It was just bruising, but it was really bad. I thought she was going to die. I was afraid to touch her. So I gave her a whole bunch of Tramiel for that short period I was helping them. And she made it. She started recovering. Her coffin bones started raising back up over a period of months. It was remarkable. So if it can help with that, it can help with anything. But it's because it's that combo that's so potent, and it hits so many of the issues that are involved in that kind of thing. So yeah, I would recommend that for anybody who's dealing with joint issues, arthritis, that kind of stuff. People with rheumatoid arthritis who are told it's an autoimmune disease you have to live with. Again, I say bullshit. Take the Tramiel. It'll help tremendously. Over a period of time, I believe it can take care of all of that stuff. It will take a while if you've got a chronic condition, of course, but it can help with those things. And again, this is my opinion only. Yours may differ. So I'm just sharing the benefit of what I have learned, experienced, and observed. And if it serves you, great. And if not, just discard it. As Andrea says, if you watch the Lilac Lantern, she'll say, I'm just reading crystals and stones, which I'm not doing, of course, but I'm reading the Akashic records. Where did we leave off? Susan, you've got a friend who believes in Jesus. She's been visited by him, but she thinks angels are New Age woo-woo. That is so funny. She believes in Jesus and not angels? I mean, the Bible talks about angels. That's so weird. She doesn't believe in reincarnation, rigid and unopened. Okay, Susan, I didn't believe in this crap before either, right? And I say crap sarcastically, but there was a time where I had an argument with another spiritual person about how reincarnation could not possibly exist. Because why did Jesus get crucified if we had the chance to redo it? Made no sense to me. Well, then I learned later the whole Jesus story is like, it's mythology. It's not necessarily factual. It's been very stretched, and it's that same story has been told in multiple cultures. So if it was a virgin birth and it was this big miraculous thing, it can't have happened multiple times. So there went that story. And once I released my resistance against reincarnation, that opened the door for other things. So let your friend be. Share with her little bits and pieces as you feel led. She may one day open up to it, but you can't force it. When I first started listening to Abraham, because that was kind of where I went after I accepted that reincarnation could be possible, listening to Abraham, which scared me, but I was intrigued. And Abraham introduced a lot of these concepts that over time got me to loosen up and open up, and look where I am today. So it's a process, but you can't rush it for somebody else. So just love her, send her love. Don't worry about it. Don't argue with her. Share bits and pieces as you feel led, and she will get there or she won't. That's up to her. But you can just send her lots of love and light. Lisa, you've already passed the book to family. Awesome. Yeah, the more people who get on board, the better. Get them in the group. That'll get them there faster. Cece in Kiwi Land, you're new. Welcome. So glad to have you. Betty, you should be getting your book in a day or two. You can't wait. You mean the little book of meditations? Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for you. I haven't gotten a lot of feedback, you guys. I need some feedback because I'm really curious to know. There's 18 meditations. Which are your favorites? Why? What kind of meditations resonate with you the most? Because I have a plan to release another volume down the road. Not right away. I'm going to give you time and give me time. But yeah, there's more coming. So if you can give me feedback on that, it would be really, really tremendously helpful. And one more thing, for those of you who are here and who have got the books, if you haven't already gone to Amazon and posted a review, please, please, please do that. It helps more people to see the books because they need that social proof. Like my first book has got, I think it's 271 reviews on it, where this one, The Path, which has been out for like a year and a half now, it's got 34 reviews. And the new one, Little Book of Meditations, I think it's only got 9. So they need more reviews. If you would do that, I would deeply appreciate it. Okay. Cece, can you ask how to create a life that has the energy of the new world? Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. So for Cece, what can you tell her about creating energy for the new world? Love and light, baby. More love and light. You can't do that enough. So it's giving yourself all of that love and light, Cece, so that you are more expansive. Your heart chakra will expand. The love will just flow from you without you even doing anything. People will feel it. It will help them to shift. You will feel marvelous because you're having that impact on the world. And they will get it. The ones who are ready will start asking questions, start shifting. It's a catalyst. Yeah. Oh, gosh. You're a catalyst, Cece. Did you know that? That is so cool. Yeah, well, really, we all are, if you think about it, but specifically for Cece, Catalyst is coming up. So yeah, give it to yourself. Just absorb, absorb, absorb. Fill yourself to overflowing with divine love and light. There's a meditation. I think it's in the Book of Meditations, but it's also on my YouTube channel. It's Vital Force Energy Infusion. So you can search for that. Do that meditation. That's about filling you to overflowing, so that when you are filled to overflowing, then you have more to share with the world. So it's take care of you first. Self-care is huge. Don't forget that. You've got to be overflowing before you have anything to give to others. And only give from the overflow, not from the container. Keep refilling it as often as you need to. You know the universe is limitless. You can have as much as you want. It's unceasing. So keep it flowing. And then keep giving. So that flow just goes through you to the world. It will change you, people around you, and the world in marvelous, magical ways. You will be living that magical life we were talking about earlier. And I highly recommend, Cece, if you just got here, go back and watch the replay when it's ready. It'll take probably till tomorrow for YouTube to process the comments. So if you want to follow the comments and chat, you might want to wait till tomorrow. But go through there and you will find where we were talking about magical living. Because that's what we're all into right now, is magical living. And then that infects other people in a positive way. So they get on the bandwagon too. And we can all facilitate moving into a better place sooner. And that better place is called Earthtopia. It's the prophecy that we are all, as light workers, moving towards fulfilling. So that's a whole lot of stuff you probably didn't know about before. And you'll find more about it in my videos if you want. There's a number of videos about Earthtopia. But thank you for being here and welcome. Delighted to have you. Dale, wow, your family, son, grandsons, and your daughter-in-law are here, which is what is keeping you here. Is it okay to leave them now? So for Dale, you said that moving to Maine was optimal, but what about her family? They're saying you're only a phone call away, but your soul is longing to step into a greater purpose, Dale, and you're not able to do that in the present location. This just hit me. Let me ask about this. So the move to Maine, is that a short-term thing? Aha, here we go. Here we go. It's a short-term thing, Dale. So you don't have to go there forever. There's something waiting for you. Maybe it's love. I don't know if you were looking for love, but maybe that's what it is. Anyway, there's something pulling you towards Maine. So go there and be there for as long as you feel led, knowing that you can return to be with the family. And meanwhile, they're just a phone call away or a Zoom call away. So don't let that stop you. Because in order to step into our soul purpose and live this magnificent life we intended, sometimes we have to do the hard things like that, moving away, because we would have missed so many opportunities if we hadn't done that. So it's stepping out of your comfort zone, keep pushing those boundaries, doing what you feel led by your angels to do. And Maine came up for you for a reason. It's not random. So lean into that, ask for more guidance about it. Come back, keep us, up to date on what's going on so we can support you. But yeah, absolutely. Look to the future, look for joy, for love, for excitement. It's all there for you, but you got to take action. Staying in that same place is keeping you stagnant, and you're ready to move out of that. It's like I'm seeing you like you are a horse who's in a bog. You're bogged up to your neck, and they've got two workhorses over on the side in a harness, and they've attached to you, and those horses are pulling you out of that bog. I don't know why I got that visual for you, Dale, but that's what they're showing me. So there you go. Your angels, in the form of these workhorses, are pulling you out of that bog to get you unstuck. Flow with it. Don't resist it. Help it as much as you can. And let us know. Desert Dawn, being in the group is awesome. I'm so glad you were able to join us. You brought a lot of wonderful shares to the group, and we really appreciate that. Desert Dawn, Tramiel is also on Amazon, both the version made in the US and the one in Germany. Yeah, I don't know about the ones on Amazon because I haven't seen the original on Amazon. So you want to be careful, because what happened when they stopped allowing it to be sold in the US for that period of time, a bunch of knockoffs came out that were called Tramiel, but they weren't. I tried them. They were not effective at all. So it was a waste of money. And, if you didn't know about the other one, you might use those knockoffs and not get the great results. So I have this one link that I got from the homeopath that I follow. And as far as I know, that's the only place to get it in the States right now. So, yeah, I could be wrong, of course. They could have changed it. But last time I looked, what was on Amazon was not the good stuff. It's made by this company in Germany called BHI Heal. It's BHI lowercase with a dash and then Heal, all lowercase. And they make some amazing remedies. Kim, you think this is your third metaphysical chat, but you have felt the power grow with each one. Thank you for your patience and sharing. Oh, you're so welcome. Kim, that's phenomenal, because that means it's been like 3 months that you've been doing this, right? And you're feeling the growth. That is, it's just so wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. And it will keep going because we are in this accelerated time. So it's super exciting. And you will not believe in a few more months how you have changed, which is, again, why it's important to record your experience. Because, I look back to where I started and it's like, I don't even know that person anymore. It's such a drastic change. And that's there for all of us because we are just shooting up in our growth and understanding. Thank you for sharing. That's beautiful. Oh, Richard, just send me an email and I'll get you the link for the Tramiel. I don't want to interrupt now and go digging for it, keep you guys waiting. So I can just send it to you through email. Oh, and Dale, I think I just answered your question. Lisa, you want the remedy too? Yeah, anybody who wants it, just send me an email and I'll just shoot the link out to you. Might not be till tomorrow, but I'll get it to you. Oh, and your friend reads the Bible a lot, Susan. Yeah, there are some people that are just so committed they think that's gospel and follow it literally, and it's just not. It's just a big book of mythology, like a lot of other things. Might as well be Grimm's fairy tales or myth of the old gods, because so much of it has been distorted and changed. There are nuggets of truth, but until she's ready to see that, she just won't see that. What happened for me that started this all, I don't even remember the year. It was the early 80s. I was going to this new church, and the pastor there, who was just a temporary guy, so this was really remarkable. I could see where the angels were working back then when I didn't even know about it, right? I was oblivious to all that stuff. And this pastor told me, don't let anybody else tell you what's in the Bible. You read it for yourself. You decide what it means. And that gave me permission to go into it with that questioning attitude of asking what's true. And of course, it was many years later when I finally got it, but it opened the door. It was such a marvelous gift he gave me. And I wish I could thank him, but I don't even know where he is, or if he's, I think he's still alive, but I don't know where he is anymore. We've all moved on from that, but it was an amazing gift. And for all of you, just know that as you're learning this and you're sharing it, you have no idea the impact you might have on somebody else's life, because that little permission he gave me transformed my life. in amazing ways. And again, that's the angels doing their work, right? They inspired him to say that. So look for those magical moments. They will keep coming in greater and greater quantities until you're just on these little stepping stones, leaping from one magical moment to the next. And life is just so amazingly wonderful. It's just so delicious, and you can't wait to see what comes next because it's so much fun. Renee, where do we join the 21-day meditation? You get the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. In the book is a link to go to the group. And I do that deliberately because I don't want you coming into the group if you haven't read the book, because you won't know what you're doing. You'll be lost. So you've got to get the book, really quickly read the book, and it's a fast read, and then start your own challenge, get into the group. You can join anytime because it doesn't matter that we're already doing a group. You can start your day one whenever you start, and you'll still be fine. And it will keep going on. It doesn't stop. That group is perpetual. So, I mean, as long as Facebook is there and keeps it going. But yeah, lots of people have gone through multiple rounds at this point, and each time it gets more expansive, and people begin it and catch on faster because that's the energy we're in right now. We need it if we're going to, get to Earthtopia faster. Oh, I see it's after 9. So I'm going to quickly wrap up with whatever questions we have here. Kelly, thanks. Great messages all around. Gotta go. Thanks for being here, Kelly. Always love having you here. Renee, you wonder if Tramiel is available in Canada. I would think so, but, just write me an email and I'll send you the link. You'll find out. And if it's not, Renee, let me know that, and I will send you the list of remedies that I put together to create my version of Tramiel, which is every bit as effective. It's just a pain in the butt that you got to open 4 bottles and mix it all together. Or if you know how or are so inclined, you can turn it into a tincture so that you can just take a teaspoon of it when you need it, which is a lot easier. So I sometimes do that. But it's way easier just to take the Tramiel if you can get it. Desert Dawn, Metatron said to you, an empty vessel can't fill anyone else's glass. Yeah, I've heard that too. And it's so true when you think about it. Absolutely. But what do we do? Those of us who are the givers, the empaths, the light workers, most of us, right? We just give and give and give until we're depleted. And then what do? We're a dried up husk and we can't help anybody, including ourselves. So it's so wise. It reminds me of in the Bible when it says, Jesus says that, love your neighbor as yourself. And all the years I've heard that said and I've read it, I always thought the emphasis was on the neighbor. It wasn't until I started doing this work that I really got it. If you don't love yourself, you've got no love to give to your neighbor. Wow. Mind-blowing when I finally got that. And it was always there. I just didn't get it because, I'd listened to all these preachers and these people telling their version of it, and that's not what their version told us. So that's why it's important to read it with an open mind and get your own insights. Or at this point, if you're in this place, you probably don't need to read it at all because we are getting it, straight from Creator through Metatron and the angels. So we don't need somebody else's warmed over words that have been distorted through the years to control us. Now, that's not to say if you enjoy reading your Bible, you should stop. You should absolutely, if you enjoy it. But just keep that caveat in mind. You've got to have the discernment to find the nuggets of truth and separate them out from all the chaff that's in there, because there's a lot of chaff in there. Cece, yes, you are a catalyst. Oh, you jumped. Looking forward to getting the meditation book. Awesome. And we are excited to have you in the group. So please remind us of who you are when you join us in that group. Betty, you'll give feedback. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Susan, as soon as you finish listening to the meditations, you'll leave a review. Perfect. Thank you. But you don't have to wait, Susan. You just need to do enough to know what you feel about it. And it doesn't have to be a long, involved review either. It can be just very simple that you loved the book. Better if you do more, but, if you're crunched for time or you don't know what to say, pretty much anything you say is fine because it just, what comes from your heart is what's important, and that will resonate with people. You love the meditations, Debbie? Okay, perfect. Tell me what your favorite one is. Dale, you are so welcome. Oh, you were talking about my power, Kim? Yeah, it's continues to expand. And, I'm in awe of it too, because Metatron just keeps delivering more and more. And things I understand today that I didn't understand even a few months ago, because it's accelerating for all of us. So you guys are helping me to expand my gift and my power by doing these groups. So that's why it's such a blessing that you show up and we work together, because we're all growing together, which is really beautiful. Oh, I got this visual of this marvelous field of flowers that are all in full bloom and scent. Oh my gosh. It's like such a powerful scent. It could knock you out. It's so wonderful. It's just, whoa, whoosh. Yeah. And that's what we're doing together. But yes, for you too. Absolutely, Kim. Amanda, is Trameal an ointment or a pill? It's both. I would, if you've got arthritis or joint issues like Debbie was talking about, I would take it internally, because then it's going to react in a systemic way. If you just use it topically, it's going to be helpful. Absolutely. If you get a blunt force injury, put it on there. Absolutely. It's going to be helpful. But if you take it internally, you're going to get a better result from it. And you can take it more often than what it says on the bottle too. Homeopathics, you dose them as needed pretty much. And mostly the homeopaths I know use intuition about dosing. So it's like if you've got something that's acute, you might take it every half an hour until you get relief. But, if it's a chronic condition, then you're just going to take it according to the bottle directions over some period of time until you get results. Some things can take months. Some things can resolve very quickly. But you should notice some improvement pretty quickly after 2 or 3 doses. If you notice no change at all, then it's just not the right remedy for you, and then you would stop it and look for something else. So that's just a little mini course in what I know about homeopathics. And I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing what my own research is. Thank you, Renee. Oh, you guys are saying, yeah, you shared the link to the group without telling them to buy the book. It happens, it's going to happen. But I always encourage people, yeah, you can join the group, you can get in, but you're going to come in there not knowing what the heck we're talking about. And you're not going to have read how the 21-day process is supposed to work. And we're not going to teach you that in the group. We're not equipped to do that. You got to read the book. It's there. And then when you know how the process works, you probably want to read the book again, because there's pieces you're not going to get. It's deep. And then you go through the process with the group using what you learned. And then every single day, Metatron shares a new message with you. Now, if for some reason you wanted to do it without the group, every single one of those messages is in this workbook. I created this in case people didn't want to get into the group. They wanted to do it on their own. Or, maybe they like to have a book in their hand. So the workbook gives you every single one of those 21 messages from Metatron that is encouraging and supporting you through the 21 days. So that's what that's all about. If you see that, it's not required to have the workbook. It's optional, but just know that's the criteria for it. You'll do the review, well, I can't talk, you guys. I got to quit. You'll do the review soon. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate it. Dakota, 11, spiritual renew and cleansing. Oh, okay. The meditation number 11. How cool that it was number 11. Spiritual renewal and cleansing was perfect for today. Awesome. Have you done the outer space one yet? Because I'm really curious to hear your feedback on that one. That one's super, super powerful and different from the others. And you said renewal. Perfect. Okay, you guys, it's after 9 now. I got to go. Thank you for being here. Let's just say a quick thank you to our guides to close down the energy. So just take a couple deep breaths and close your eyes and thank your team. From me to you, from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Every single one of you, you brought so much depth, so much love, so much wisdom, all gathered together. It's swirling around like this, this powerful cyclone that's gathering up all of these energies, swirling them together, combining them in new, fascinating ways, expanding upon them. So that power then shoots out into the world, expanding across the planet. It really does that, you guys. Even though it sounds crazy to say that, it really does. It expands across the planet. It touches people. Some of them will be led to lean in, to connect with their angels, to do more. And that's all we can ask. And that will keep spreading like that positive infection across the planet until we reach the top of that roller coaster, and then zoom, we are going to fly down into Earthtopia. And it's going to be so wonderful. Thank you for all of our angels, teams, guides, enlightened beings, masters, and teachers. You are so amazing. Gobsmacked at how you are so right on and so magical with your guidance. Thank you for your love and your support. Metatron, Creator, all of you. Much appreciation and love to you. Oh, so let's bring that energy down, release that love out of our heart chakra, let it expand to the world. Thank you. Amen. And good night. Bye, everybody. You are welcome. Good night, Debbie. Hugs back. Love and hugs and enormous blessings to everybody. Good night.